Don't make this mistake with your turkeys.
What do you think, Pink? You want to hand her off and go help me with the video?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we got volunteers lining up. All right, y'all, welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper. I got Pinky Pepper trailing me here, and we're gonna share with you a mistake that we made with our turkeys, and that mistake cost us. Ain't that right, Pinky?
Yes, sir.
And how many times have we ever had turkeys in our life?
Twice.
So far we've had turkeys twice in our life, and there's a difference between the turkeys we had the first time and the turkeys that we had the second time. In fact, there's two differences. Can you think off your top of your head what I'm thinking about?
More.
We got more this time? Okay, that's one difference.
Breed.
Different breed. Last time our turkeys were what?
The broad-breasted bronze turkeys.
Which fits into which category?
The commercial.
Commercial. We had commercial ones last time. This time we have what?
Heritage.
And what else did we have last time that was different?
2.
Well, that was the number. But when did we get them?
When they were full grown.
When they were full grown. This time we started off with some heritage breeds, and we got them when they were like brand new and fresh. And right now Pinky's gonna let them out of the cage. And how are these ones doing as far as size and stuff? They're doing great? Look at them. Okay, I'll let you feed them. So right here we've got 3 blue slates, I think 2 toms and a hen, and then we also have a royal palm.
We just gotta watch out for those.
Oh. So, do you remember how many turkeys we started off with?
16.
16. And how many do we have now?
4.
So we've got 1/4 of them left. We lost 75% of our turkeys. And if you raise turkeys from being young, a lot of times people lose a lot when they're small, don't they, Pinky? Where'd you go?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there she is. A lot of times people will lose a lot of turkeys when they're young. And how do we do when they were little?
They did awesome.
We actually did really, really well. But a problem happened. When they got bigger, we began to free range them. And sometimes they would go from our property way, way, way down the street. They were all the way down by the low water bridge. They were on our neighbor's property over there, who's got like a pit bull and
Husky.
a husky. They were all over. And you run 2 risks with that. maybe 3. I had some friends who had their turkeys show up at their neighbor's house, and the next time they showed up at their neighbor's house, like looking for the turkeys, like, hey, you want to see my new turkeys? That's one risk. Somebody could find them and think that they're theirs. Another risk is they could just disappear. They could get lost. And the other risk is that being so far gone from your protection and sight, they could die. They could get killed by something, even, you know, vehicles or predators or hunters or anything really. So they started getting so far gone, and they were at a size where they'd just run right through the cattle panel.
Yeah.
So we began cooping them up a little bit more. And what we realized is what?
That they would die more when they're cooped up.
Yeah, so we had them cooped up a little more. I mean, they had plenty of space, they had plenty of water and plenty of feed, but they really need to be free ranging more, is what we determined. And the 4 we have are doing great, and we've been free ranging them more lately, even overfeed a lot of times.
And our turkeys, they'll go for foraging over their feed. And so when we let them out, usually I'll feed them and then I'll let them out and I'll put their food away and they go forage all day and then they come back. And especially right now in the fall time, we have a lot of trees and a bunch of acorns fall off them, and they'll go out in the woods like for half the day and just eat a bunch of acorns and other things they can find, and they really like that. So
they prefer to be able to be running around, checking out things, picking on stuff. We've also got wild plums and wild persimmons that'll be dropping fruit. There's bugs, there's other seeds, there's, you know, the green grasses and various things. And these ones, like, we were just kind of lamenting our losses. And I realized that really the losses... Is he okay? Yeah. The losses began when we started having them cooped up more. And sometimes we'd let them go like in the afternoon because then they wouldn't have as much time to run around. They simply couldn't, they didn't have the time to travel as far of a distance, because if you let some of your animals free range, guineas, turkeys, goats, they'll kind of start off somewhere and they'll be like, oh, look, acorn, 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 acorn. Next thing you know, they're a half mile away. And then they're like, uh-oh, what just happened? You know, because all they were doing was following the food. So that was an issue for us. Right now, we've got 3 toms, Royal Palm, and 2 blue slates and 1 hen. So from my point of view, we got 2 eaters and then a pair that we can have as a mated pair. We'll probably let the stronger, better blue slate Tom be the one that we save and breed, and hopefully they can start raising on their own. Also, you're thinking about trying to get some more turkeys, right?
Yeah, I was looking at some.
Now, on the bright side, we did pick up a cheap mystery pack, which if you buy a cheap mystery pack, here's another good tip for you. If you're dealing with a hatchery, a lot of people who are going for egg production on various ones, are especially like heritage breeds, they're not as much for meat as like a commercial breed. They're just looking at the meat. So you would have, oh yeah, here the foraging starts. So you would have, you know, 1 or 2 toms that you would need for a small flock of females, and then they would be hatching out your next generations. A lot of homesteaders are into that sort of things. That's why we like heritage breeds. So if you're ordering the females and the toms, a lot of people will be ordering more females than toms if they're going for their own production, because then the cycle can kind of continue. Let's see, I'll step here. But if you're ordering the mystery pack, then all the ones that were clearly female, right, and easily sexed, got sold as females. So if you're just picking up a random one, and the same thing happened with our Polish roosters and our Cochins, right? Yeah. We got a high level of roosters. In fact, we just managed to get rid of one of our Polish roosters yesterday, which was good. Somebody was looking for an extra one. We said, hey, here's an option for you. And they were really excited to be able to do that. So we're going to wind up buying the leftover mystery pack, wind up with more toms than hens. And I'm just going to kind of have them go in the background here. So that's one reason why we got kind of what we got going on. We are going to look into probably starting to try to reproduce these on our own and set up something better for them where they do have a nice spot they can be detained, but then also be able to free range more. Right now they can hop the fence, right, Pinky?
And they can fit through it, but they're so big they just...
Yeah, they're so big they kind of lay off of squeezing through the fence, and they really don't jump over it until they're ready to roost, and then they normally hit a wood pile I've got up there somewhere. So they can kind of be in whatever pasture we want them to be in and do a good job with that. We could probably also do some wing trimming if we wanted to prevent them that way. But basically, a couple takeaways from this video. If you order kind of the mystery leftover, did not sell packs, you're going to wind up probably with more males than females. And if you can, I mean, we did really good when they were young. We didn't lose barely any. Did we lose? One in the first what?
They were like pretty big.
Like 6 weeks?
Yeah, they weren't super tiny.
Right. It was only like one in like the first 6 weeks or 2 months that we even ever lost when they were young, which means we did awesome. But when they began, we feared losing them from having them be too far out, kept them cooped up too much, and then because of that, wind up losing some. Is that just a stump there, or is that a dog? Next to that, yeah.
It's a stump.
Okay. But we are happy and blessed with the ones that we have. Also, those that can be hardier are of course going to be some great ones to have reproducing. I think this is the hen, oops, right there in the middle. The farthest one away over there. And then some of these guys, they'll actually start puffing up and looking at the turkeys or the chickens and puffing up their feathers and getting into little fights with them. But here they are, you know, this is what they like to do. This is how turkeys like to live. It's amazing how big these birds are, and they just kind of walk around pecking all day, especially if you think about the wild turkeys. So.
And yesterday, the royal palm was actually strutting.
Strutting, huh?
Yep, he buffed out all like a big papa turkey. And he was just walking around in the woods, and us kids were watching him. So that was really cool.
Awesome. So we learned a few things. We're happy to be applying them to our own life, and if we could spare any of you guys from making the same mistakes we did, we wanted to share this and just be honest about our mistakes. We know more about it now. We're excited that these ones are still doing as good as they're doing, and happy to have some. And even buying the discount ones, you know, ooh, flapping. We got them cheaper, you know, which helps. Whoa.
That's why I picked him up, because he wasn't letting me.
So we still got a pretty good deal on them, even with losing 75% of them. But how were the last ones when we ate our heritage breeds?
Those were...
Or sorry, our commercials.
Those were awesome.
How did we cook them?
In the smokehouse.
Cooked them in smokehouses, and they were amazing. So
thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you got any other tips, you can leave them in the comments. So, Pinky out.